Hello, everybody. We are back. My name is Nicholas Kazonis, and this is Who is the Buzz? And today we have Mr. Kris Dabu, a wonderful guest that has been here a couple times now. We also did his first album with him, and we're going to be working on this production that we'll be announcing here again today. But before we do that, Kris also has the TroubleMakers with him today. Some new faces, some friendly faces, and some old faces. But before we dive too much in, we just want to thank you all for watching. And here we go. Let's have some fun. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is the song, Dance in the Dark.
Dance in the Dark.
So my question to you would be, what inspired Dance in the Dark?
Dance in the Dark was, if you're like, obviously, when we recorded the first album, we were in the middle of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. This song was written, like, pretty much right after that recording, and it was like kind of like how you felt like during the day. You know, you get all these news like flashes and everything just seems terrible, and then at night, you know, when there's not as much things going on, the news cycle is not crushing you every day, kind of calms down. So it's kind of that feeling where every day was like something happening, you know, during the day, and then I felt anyways like a calm.
You can breathe at night. Yeah. No, I think that humans aren't made to like take that much negative news in a day. You know what I mean? There's so much like happening in a day where it's like information. But when you look at like where we evolved from, I mean, it was like small little tribes with no electronics and basically the communication was like the same 12 people. So that's where we came from. And now we have this inundation of just constant technology.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going on now. Like, you still get, you know, crushed by all sorts of crazy things going on. Just the news cycle just repeating. And every day there's something else that happens. And then, you know, you don't hear about it as much, or you have time to process it at the end of the night. So.
Gotcha. And the opening line of the verse, correct me if I'm wrong, there in the morning, gone by the evening, right?
Oh, yeah, here in the morning, gone by the evening.
Yeah. So is that where that comes from, is like describing that feeling?
Yeah, and then like the chorus is when the circle comes back to the start. The circle is like the sun.
Gotcha.
So it's like, you know.
So it's cyclical.
Yeah.
Got it. Very cool. So within the song then, like, how does that fit into like the larger scope of the album, essentially?
This album was kind of born through, I had kind of like a turbulent year. I mean, you obviously know, you guys know about it.
But
so this album's kind of wrapping everything up in, you know, that turbulent time and kind of just putting a bow on it and saying, all right, this is done, and we're going to move on into something different.
Yeah. It's almost like, you know, I mean, not to make any of the situation lightly, but it's think of like there's a bunch of dust on the ground, and then you vacuum the dust, and now the floor is clean, but all that dust is in the vacuum. It's all contained in one thing. You're going to empty it out. You're going to let all those emotions out in the album, and now, you know, metaphorically, it's like, okay, this is out. This is gone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm cleaning up shop.
It's just wiping the slate clean and starting over.
And what I love about that is that music is often, we don't think of it, we think of it as just purely an art form, but music is also a timeline.
Yeah.
It's where you are in your life, if you're being honest.
Yeah. I mean, this is most definitely like a snapshot in time for me. You know, like the first album was pretty much everything from the beginning up until that point. And this is more focused into like a certain time period, which I think is kind of cool for me.
Gotcha. Very cool. And the time period of this, me knowing you personally, this is just working only at the mill, right?
Most of it, yeah.
So any stories behind like the lyrics, vibe, or production? Like, I know that you guys didn't do production with us this time. You did a lot of self-production. I know personally you wanted to dive into that. How is that different? Like, what are some of the caveats that are like really positive, and what are some of the things that are...
I think Billy can attest to this, because Billy's been with me the longest, but like it's been a learning curve for sure. Like, recording things and finding out, oh, this sounds terrible. We have to do this again.
Wow,
and
we just spent 6 hours on this one thing.
I spent 30 days mixing this one song. Guess what? I'm going to start all the way at the beginning again because this doesn't sit right. This doesn't sit right. This doesn't sit right. So you just keep trying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because it's like all the information is available to us in the world, right?
Yeah.
At literally at our fingertips. But the experience of like real life stuff, you won't know it till you do it, and you won't know your errors. And we learn from our mistakes. So you're not going to learn unless you make the mistake, and you've made it a couple times, and then you can rectify it and fix it. And I think that's like the thing that I know, like when I first started self-production, even before I opened the studio, that was the thing for me. It was like, it's like, oh, well, I'm never liking that part of the guitar again, or we're not going on that side of the speaker,
Yeah.
So you try all these like little things you read on Reddit or look on YouTube or see,
yeah,
something you read
and then
on
you
Wikipedia.
fight with parts too, where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Maybe I can make this sound good. Maybe I can make this sound good. And then you get to the day where you're like, maybe I just need to do it all over again.
Yeah.
And end up re-recording something and figuring out that it's probably better to get it from the source as best as you can than try and manipulate it 50 different ways.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and introduce your band members. Let's start with the newest and go to the
well, I'll have them introduce
the veteran.
themselves.
All right.
I'm Kris Dabu, obviously.
I'm Angelo Flores, and I play guitar for Kris. I've known him for a couple years now. I met him through jam nights, actually through a jam night he hosted at Regional.
Which is no longer.
Sadly. But, I've been with him for a couple years and just playing with him.
I'm Ken Harris. I play drums for the TroubleMakers, Kris Dabu The TroubleMakers. Since April and May. I know it's the springtime.
somewhere around this summer.
Yeah, summer, yeah. A couple months now, and it's been a great experience and brought me closer to these gentlemen here. So,
What are some things, since you guys are kind of like the newer members, what are some things that you guys have learned being in like the TroubleMakers and having a band, leader that is like been doing it, and this is a second release? Like, what are some things you guys have learned and some things that you maybe, are excited about or kind of like, ooh, this is a little nerve-wracking, I got to work on this. What are some things you guys, that you guys have been like learned?
Well, it's different for me with him because he already has these songs done already. Because I usually would work with people that I make my own part or like I help writing something with them. But having like the song already done, it's different. It's a different approach. It's like.
So do you think that like having a part there kind of helps facilitate things forward quicker?
Yeah, it helps just me get into it more, and he helps a lot because he has things he wants in the songs, and it's nice hearing from his vision, and it just helps facilitate it more.
Cool, nice. Anything, Ken, that you have that you kind of learn?
Definitely the nerve-wracking part because this is Kris. He's not what I love about Kris and everyone in the band. I played with Angelo for a while now.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years. So I know how he works. But just being with musicians who are like, they're on your tail, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're always like, they're not afraid to like tell me what's wrong. And I take criticism very easily. Like, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to be upset about it. But like, they want nothing but the best of me. And I appreciate that from the group.
And sometimes like growth hurts.
It does.
Yeah.
Growth hurts. And so having that opportunity is truly a blessing. You're very fortunate to have
I agree.
Guys that are like behind you and just make sure you like recognize that, because like I know for me, I didn't have that. It was I just like put myself out there and then and then I was like doing stuff playing for I started off in the Greek realm and in like language playing belly dance music with people that didn't even speak English, and they're like, no, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And so you have to like kind of figure out. You have to literally learn a new language musically, but also the dialect of the music.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
learning the language of whatever the person is talking to you.
Yeah. And I played in a band before, but this is like the first time where like wow, I'm in a band. You know what I'm saying? Like going to Chicago, going to like different cities and everything. Like rehearsals are hard hitting, but this is like the first time like wow, I'm really doing this.
Yeah.
Because years ago I was like dreaming of it, but now that I'm actually like in reality, I'm like yeah, I get to work with such a great group of musicians, and like we're going out playing shows, we're rehearsing and we're talking, and it's great. It's great. I'm never gonna like sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna like
Just enjoy it.
yeah, enjoy it.
Just enjoy and learn, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's time to be serious. There's a time to like, have fun. But we're definitely like, we
Yeah,
get
we're
stuff
definitely
done.
doing it.
We get
We're
stuff
definitely
done.
Yeah, you guys are moving.
For sure.
And I know the next newest, I guess, is not really the newest, but I guess it would be you, right, Neil?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I know, because like we've all kind of worked together in many different things. But
Right.
So
Like
I know you've worked mostly in like cover and like solo stuff.
Yep.
This is probably a little bit different.
which is one of the things I enjoy the most about it. I've done solo stuff, mostly covers. I've done duo stuff, played in other bands. Still playing in a band called Hail Mary where I play keys, cover band. This is a different type of opportunity. And I've known Kris for a long time. We have similar musical taste anyway.
Yeah.
And so it's easy for me to I think, kind of be on the same page as far as having a pretty good guess, if not knowing, at least having a pretty good guess as far as where he's trying to go with the stuff he's trying to do, which is just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To see what I can bring and what I can add from a key standpoint.
Yeah.
To some cool original music. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and I really like, the folks are going to hear the song, Dance in the Dark today, when everything gets released and all that sort of thing. When we're promoting for October 12th at Eaton Hammond at 5201 Homan. It's at the corner of Sibley and Homan. So eat. You can come and say hi to this really weird looking sound guy. He'll be there. He likes snacks, so if you want to bring him some snacks, probably a good idea. But doors open at 5.
Doors open at 5.
And then we hit
Frank
at
Rivoli's
6.
starting the show.
Frank's at 6, okay.
Yeah, Frank Rivoli's starting the show at 6. And then we'll hit the stage probably around 7.
Okay, cool. That's going to be a great night. I'm really excited for it. So, Billy, you've been, now that we're on the subject of releases, you've been the guy for a long time, and you were on the last release, right?
No,
I
don't know.
No? Oh, no!
There was some other weird looking bass player.
There was some other weird-looking bass player.
Yeah.
That was me. I had to set that on the side.
No, but the last release show was actually how we got introduced.
Right.
Initially.
Right.
Ben Tufts, employee of Region Buzz and one of my longest friends and one of my closest friends. Just at the time, I was pretty much only in like my high school band, and we were just playing punk, metal covers, but mostly originals at the time. But they were off in college, and one of them had moved down to Bloomington. And so we just weren't really doing anything for a while. And Ben had texted me. He's like, hey, there's a singer-songwriter named Kris who is maybe looking for a bass player for his album release show. And that didn't work out eventually, but we still messaged each other on Facebook and we made the connection.
I remember meeting you at White Rhino.
Yes,
Yeah.
when you were playing with Nick at one of the open mics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I used to have hosts.
Yeah.
Or guest hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were fun nights. We still do them on Wednesdays. Anybody that wants to show up, check out some original music, some covers. It's just solo acoustic. Sometimes a duo will come in, which is always fun. Those are Wednesday nights from 9 to midnight. So.
But yeah, and then I was looking and just before, because I was really only used to double bass, eighth notes, just playing aggressive all out all the time, and I love all forms of music, but I'd never really had any experience other than that in terms of playing with a band like outside of my own, and just the amount of difference between, if I'm playing in like a thrash metal or a death metal band, and then
When Billy says he loves all forms of music,
He legitimately means it.
Billy has the deepest knowledge of
Yeah.
every form of music there is.
And I can honestly
Just a little
say,
bit.
like, watch, because I've known you a long time. I mean, I helped produce your guys' very first EP.
Yeah.
Like when you guys were in high school.
High school, yeah.
And seeing the growth is just so beautiful. It really is. It's awesome because I can see, like, this sort of like point where you guys were doing like the thrash punk rock thing. Then it kind of moved into like where you guys are going slightly progressive, and now it's like, oh, now we're doing this like super unique metal sound, And so it's cool to hear it, and then seeing you playing like musicals, seeing you doing the fusion stuff, and sitting in with some really awesome players. It's just so cool to see. Like,
This guy is a super talented guy.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to have him.
Very, very lucky.
Lucky to be here. But yeah, so it was just at the time, like, I didn't know about, like, your Pino Palladinos, your Leland Sklars, your Willie Weeks, like but just
Sean Hurley.
yeah, your bass players, it's like it's not about like playing the whole note, it's about like how good you can make a whole note sound, and sometimes a whole note or like just straight eighth notes, like that makes the groove of the song. It's just this music really showed me how to like play in an ensemble for the first time, if that makes sense.
That's awesome.
It was really the kick, like the launch pad for all the growth that I've experienced, and playing live, like the first time, like playing a 3-hour bar gig to and it's like going from like backyard high school parties, fun shows with your young friends jumping around, to a 3-hour bar gig where it's empty halfway through the set. It's just, and then you still gotta play for another hour and a half, and you still gotta put on a show and get through it, and it's the experience. It was so important and so useful to have.
Yeah, and it's invaluable. Well, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. I bet you didn't think I was going to talk to each one of you today. But one thing I do want to ask before we move on to like the next part. So like we've talked a lot about really cool, fun, like serious stuff. But what's probably one of the funniest memories of a gig or rehearsal with this lineup so far?
Let's see.
Phyllis, probably.
Ooh.
The guy.
Why don't you tell that story?
So, sorry, Angelo, you weren't here.
Yeah, no.
But I'm still gonna let you know. So we had a gig at Phyllis Musical Inn. First time there, beautiful place. There was a guy we were playing, and I don't know if I'm not gonna assume he was crazy, but apparently we were playing too loud. And he was telling Neil, he was talking to Neil, you should be telling this story, but he was talking to Neil.
In the middle of a song.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because that's how
he's what we
conversations
call, and he is what we call an ask hole.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we call an ask hole. Because what he does is he gets in there and he has to talk to you and ask you to turn down. He has to ask you, can you play this song?
He didn't work there or anything. He
No.
was just running up like, it's too loud, and like giving us a thumbs down, like, it's too loud. And then that bar manager actually kicked him out. He's like, you don't work here. And they actually, it was a great show. They asked us to play.
We got like 3 or 4 encore.
By the
end,
end, we ended up playing for an extra hour, and the only reason we stopped playing was because
I had to use the bathroom.
Billy had to use the bathroom, and the owner of the place was coming back in, and the manager was like, we have to stop before he gets here.
Yes.
That's awesome. So you guys were doing the nightcap at Phyllis's Inn, huh?
Yeah. Shout out Wicker Park.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are getting a lot of really cool stuff in Chicago, I see, and
Gallery
You know, that's
Cabaret.
I think that's awesome. Chicago's music scene's kind of like been up and down the last 6 years ever since the pandemic. So
Yeah.
it's good to hear that they're like still having musicians and moving forward.
Yeah. Lots
What's your
of
favorite?
music.
What's your favorite venue to play, Angelo?
In Chicago?
Yeah,
Well, I've played.
or I guess in general.
In general, probably Bugaboos was kind of fun because I'm talking about like venues I played with them. Bugaboos was kind of fun.
That was a fun gig.
It was a great crowd. Even though we're indoors, it was still a pretty great crowd. And that was the first time I actually played guitar for the group.
That is
I
true.
usually would sub in for Billy on bass.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first time playing guitar. And it was like really fun.
Yeah,
like,
we had Mr. Matt Aber. Shout out Mr. Matt Aber.
oh yeah, he
Oh,
was
man.
great. That was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that gig was fun. It was also funny because the first set, the left side speaker was cutting out and the cable was going a little wonky. And I had to,
Oh yeah, you
I
held
was,
it.
I was holding the
He
cable
held the
into
main
the
cable
speaker
in.
for like for like a half of a song,
Oh.
and then once we finished the song, we switched the cable out. But it was really funny because like I was just standing there holding a cable, doing nothing.
Which is the complete opposite of my funny story when we were at Shipwreck and you stepped on the power cable for the PA and took us completely out.
That was the one I was trying to get out, but you know.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I stepped on the power cable and everything just turned off.
And now we know
I did
why
not
they're called the
forget
TroubleMakers. What about you, Ken? What's your favorite venue so far?
We played Zorn.
Yeah.
We did an inside and outside gig. So we played there twice. One was inside, one was outside. Either one, honestly. Just Zorn in Michigan City is beautiful.
Zorn is fun.
If I had to choose one, I'll probably say the outside. Outside was pretty nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that's for me.
Bilbert.
I have to shout out the Gallery Cabaret in Chicago. That's one of, I would probably describe it one of our haunts now. I think we've played it close enough in some you've played it without me even in some configuration. And like probably like 6 or 7 times now, maybe more than that even. But it's just such a fun place. It's music or some live entertainment. I think 7 nights a week. Same with Phyllis's. Gallery might be 6. I'm not too sure on that, but nevertheless, the people who are there for the music. You know, most of the time it's just the crowd is so attentive. They're so receptive, and staff is great. Garrett
Lane.
Garrett, yep, awesome man, awesome figurehead of the Chicago music scene. You know, local legend.
Awesome.
He's great.
What about you, Neil?
Yeah, I think with these guys, I think Phyllis's was probably. I can definitely back up Zorn as being a lot of fun as well.
Zorn is always great.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the Phyllis's is a great atmosphere. Like Billy said, they consistently have music, almost if not every day. So it's a very very receptive crowd and a cool area. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Awesome. So let's transition about the actual album itself.
Yep.
What's the title of it?
The name of the album is Troublemaker. Troublemaker is the name came from. It's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek thing where it's like when you're at the mill, when you're working, you know, like when the mill is running, you're constantly going, right? And then when there's downtime, you kind of make yourself scarce and you don't want to be found, right? And then a lot of the older guys are like, you know, if they see you up and start doing something, like, what are you doing? Like, we don't need no trouble, you know? So
Yeah.
that's where the name of the album and that song Troublemaker is kind of like roughly referencing.
So would you say that, you know, like, we all have, like, our identity and our brand and our music.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a lot of the content of this album is kind of like a tip your hat to your union brothers, like the mill guys kind of thing?
Most definitely. Well, 2 songs specifically, Troublemaker for sure, just because of the tongue-in-cheek reference of, you know,
Yeah.
what I just said.
Don't start no trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, because someone sees you starting to work on something, like, hey, can you not do that? because we're all trying to hang back, and
Yeah.
before a manager sees us, and then we all end up sweeping the floor
Yeah.
for the next 3 hours. And home is the one that's really about working in the steel mill, because a lot of times when you're working in the steel mill, you work a lot of hours. Sometimes you get forced over. You think you're going in for 8 hours, and you end up working 16.
Yeah.
You know, especially my old department, which that song is about, where I would pour molten steel as a job. And so that song is kind of built in a way that kind of is, it makes you kind of feel like how I felt. Where, say that it's 3:30 in the morning, and it's July, and it's, it's 100 degrees, outside during the day. Well, I'm pouring molten steel, so it's however times as hot. It's just miserable. You're in a tiny
You could
room.
literally you're literally in the temperature to be serve safe certified.
Yeah. You're in a tiny room. You're in a tiny room, and both air conditioners are not working, and you still have to get the job done.
Yeah.
And then your relief calls off, and you have to work another 8 in that. That's what that feels. That's what that is meant to feel like. I have my friends, Aaron Bishop and Julio Pena, and they are calling out heat numbers, which is batches of steel to be processed at the beginning and end of the song. And then, there's a lot of I would characterize just dirty, swampy kind of sounds in that song, and it gets kind of heavy, and it's the heaviest song out of the first album and second album that I have, and it's kind of meant to make you kind of feel that of how we feel being at work, and wanting to be home, wanting to be with your loved ones, just not wanting to
Yeah.
be stuck here all day. And I mean, it's not like we're not appreciative of the job, because all of us are.
That's
It's
what helps
just-
us support our loved ones.
Yeah, it's just sometimes you want to go to sleep.
So my next question would be, in what way would the process and the feeling of this album be different than your last one?
The last one was a lot of things. The last one was a lot of relationships, breakups. Railcar is about people watching on the train when I was going to culinary school. Seeing people, watching people on when you're I don't know what their story is. And I don't know what this guy does, because you're, if you're going there for a purpose every day at the same time, on your commute, you might start to recognize one or two people, and you're I wonder what that guy does,
Yeah.
And so there's that, and then there's breakups, and I can't even think of what else is on there, because I think 90% of that album is breakups.
So process-wise, it sounds like the first one was kind of that concept and that timeline of your life,
Yeah.
growth, right? We'll
Yeah.
call it growth.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it. From a maybe emotional standpoint, there's obviously emotion in this new one, I'm assuming, but process of writing, how was the writing different? And I know the recording was clearly different. You did everything,
Yeah.
self-produced, but writing it, was there any process of writing with the band, or was it hey, here's the general idea, or I've already written the song and
I think
here's what it is?
In general, the very genesis of the songs, the first album was these are the pages in the journal, and they're way back.
Yeah.
And this one is oh, this is 3 pages back. It's very, more present, which I enjoyed, because I obviously didn't do that before,
Yeah.
So it's more recent stuff and more stuff that I could feel right now, instead of revisiting oh, how did that make me feel? In general, for the songwriting, I generally have an idea, I'll write the songs. I'll throw in like a drum pad and like have an idea, and then I'll throw it like, especially because Billy's been with me the most. Be like, all right, this is kind of like the idea of the most terrible bass line that I could play. And like, hey, can you shine this up? And he's like, yeah. I don't know, is that hard?
No. Kris lays down a really good template, I feel, but he's also very open to, just because it sounds like this on the recording right here, let's hear how it sounds like in rehearsal or in practice, and if that feels good or stuff, then he's flexible with that.
Yeah.
He gives some liberty to
It's
his
like, we know we
students.
want blue, but what shade of blue?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the name of my album.
There's so many sly little plugs.
It's really just a promotion for me. Sorry, I just had to.
Even when we're playing live, I'm like, as long as you get like the feel of what it is, I'm like, you can do whatever you want as long as you get the feel, There are certain parts where I'm like, I need you to play it like
play
this.
the part.
to do this.
Yeah. Like there's definitely things I think as songwriters we can attest to where it's like, I wrote the bass line first, or it comes from this drum pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what I built it off of. Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Like just play the thing. Play the thing.
Yeah.
So I get that. So I guess my last question in reference to the album before we actually talk about the album release show is going to be, what have you learned from this album, and where is your what's your plans after the release show, writing wise? What is your foresight? Is it going to be more smaller projects, or is it going to be a longer, long EP? Are you going to start playing just French horn or something? What's your plan? Where are you moving in the direction?
I think.
Do you kind of have that sight yet?
Yeah, I think, just growing from the first album to this album, this album taught me a lot as far as songwriting, and oh, you could do this better. And then even especially after you're done, you're like, man, I wish I could go back and do some other things, because there's a lot of growth and a lot of I can write this better. I think I have better ideas of what I want to do. And that's what I'm excited for, is getting into something new. Not that we're not celebrating this, because I completely am, but it's
But it's important to have that foresight.
Yeah.
Because if you know where you're going, and this is brand new to everybody, right?
Yeah.
But this is not brand new to you.
Yeah.
This has been building for quite a few years now. So it's always, we're as songwriters, I feel like we're always looking to the next, it's I was talking to, I think I was talking to you, right? Well, I said you're doing really good, and it's almost, the analogy I use is you're climbing a mountain and you get to the mountaintop and you're like, yes, I made the mountain, and then you celebrate for a second and you open your eyes and then you're like, there's another mountain on the other side of this mountain. It's oh man, I got to go down and then I got to go back up and then celebrate when I get there. Yeah. But it's beautiful because the process is what makes life. That's what makes music beautiful, because it's the process, it's the experience that comes out in the music and in the art, and how you decide to approach it. It's just expression.
And another thing, with these guys, and what I'm looking forward to in the next one, is just being able to communicate and say what it is that I want, what I'm trying to do. One of the things, for me, as a young cook, was say that you're cooking as a job, and then you're just getting crushed and you're really behind, and someone's like, hey, how can I help you? And you're knowing when to ask for help is important, but knowing how to ask for help is super important too. To be hey, I need you to do this, or hey, I can't do this, can you help me do that? And I think I have a better grasp at that now than when we were in the middle of this project. So just being a better, I guess, band leader
Yeah.
is what, I'm striving for and trying to like work on every day.
And I can attest to like being a band leader is probably one of the hardest things because you're dealing with an art form, you're dealing with expression, and you have different perspectives often, And I mean, your band is a lot like mine. It's all about. It's a diverse group of people.
Yeah.
Experiences, backgrounds, but there's beauty in that because everybody brings a unique perspective to things. And I think the thing by having a really diverse background musically, ethnically, experience-wise is just so important, because the music is just going to have perspectives when it comes down to like the simplest thing of how you push the merch or how you word something in a specific way. I don't know, I personally love that process of it. I love the process of like creation in all forms of running a band.
Yeah, and like I think that's it's part of the reason why it's now the TroubleMakers is because I wanted to, like the first album was just Kris Dabu, and like we would go play shows, and we would book shows.
Everybody's asking me like, who do you like? What's your band? Like, what's the band that you're in? And I'm like, so I play with the guy Kris Dabu, and then it's like KCHR and no KR, and it's just
And it's like it's always like what's the name of the band? It's like it's just my name, So I wanted to give you guys something that we could hold on to together, like
it's evolving.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the album release show. Let's talk about some fun, really, really fun stuff. So when is it? Where is it? Remind everybody they've been watching for a little while.
October 12th, Eat in Hammond.
5201 Holman Avenue.
I was going to throw it to you anyway.
It's
tickets are $15. You can get them on my website, KrisDabu.com.
Spell that for them.
KrisDabu.
There you go. .com. COUM.
Yep.
Wait.
Wait a minute.
Gotcha. So, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, their tickets are $15. Frank Rivoli's opening show starting at 6.
Is he doing an all-original set, too?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can they expect, like, merchandise-wise? Are you going to have CDs on you?
I just got CDs this past week.
Okay.
Like 2 days ago. Actually, we had a rehearsal on Tuesday. They showed up that day.
That's awesome.
They look awesome.
They
look so cool.
Yeah. We have cool-looking CDs. I have shirts. And I'll have, like, a limited supply of shirts. And then if we don't have... If we for any reason run out, I'll have a link for a website that you can get the shirts from. There'll be more colors available than what I'll have on hand. And then I just got approval for hats today too. I already tell you guys, but hats are coming. And the same thing, I'll have a link and you can pick out what color hats and whatnot. And you can also get hoodies in a variety of colors that I didn't want to buy those. So if you really want a hoodie,
I make my own merch for that reason.
Yeah, if you really want a hoodie, you can get one.
So where can people check out your music? And is there any final thoughts before we close out this podcast?
The first album, I don't want to say old because it makes it sound terrible. The first album is available everywhere you get your music, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube Music, wherever.
And just not to interject, but Dance in the Dark is already out on all of those.
Yes, and the same as Dance in the Dark. And then the whole EP will be available on October 12th on all your favorite streaming sites.
Awesome. So, October 12th, be there. I don't know. Better not be anywhere else. Remember to bring the sound guy snacks.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for being here today and just hanging out.
Love being here.
Can't wait to show everybody the track.
Yeah.
Live performance in studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really excited to be and very, very fortunate and grateful to be working with you guys day of at the release. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So love you guys. We'll see you again. This is Who's the Buzz with Kris Dabu and The TroubleMakers. We'll see you soon. Take care.